Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Back to another episode of Loners.
You told me to do the intro, and now you're stomping on my throne. This is episode 151.
152. Run it. All right.
Sabotage.
Sabotage. How's everyone doing out there? We hope you guys are doing well. Hope you've been enjoying
Oh my god! My toe just locked. My toe!
Oh, man. Are you okay?
No.
Oh, it like cramped.
I feel like a fucking boomer. No offense.
No,
I'm too young to feel this old. In the words of Kings of Leon.
Oh, yeah. That's a good song.
To feel this old.
But I've been getting toe cramps since I was like a teenager.
Why did I do that? Imagine being at the nail salon.
I mean, you just kick her in the head.
And you just get a toe cramp.
You're like, you kick her in the face. All right. So, guys, please go subscribe to our vlog channel. As well, hopefully by now, we'll have posted some social media underneath.
Social?
Hopefully by now, because I said that in the last one and we still haven't done it.
Why do you say it's so passive aggressive? He's like, for those of you who turned in your homework, and is like staring at the one kid who didn't.
Anyway, also, make sure to jump over to buy us a coffee if you appreciate the videos. We appreciate you. All right. So today we're going to do...
And if you don't appreciate our videos, we fucking hate you. I'm just kidding.
All right. So today we're going to do a video called Why No One Wants to Live in Europe's Richest Country. All right. So let's begin.
For centuries, Ireland was always one of the poorest countries in Europe. But then something happened and the Irish economy exploded. And today, Ireland is one of the wealthiest nations in the world, richer than countries like Switzerland, Qatar, or Kuwait.
What?
By all accounts,
Ireland
is doing amazing. Except that not everyone in Ireland seems to agree. In fact, 70% of young people are considering leaving the country, and mainly because of the economic situation. But how is that possible? Why should citizens of one of the wealthiest countries be so unhappy with the economy?
Well, I mean, if you haven't been to America, it's kind of similar too. I feel like we're technically the wealthiest, but
Are we?
it doesn't show. Like on paper, we're the wealthiest. But
I feel like you can't claim that when you're in so much debt.
yeah, because they don't count debt as like a...
Well, then I got some news for the IRS. I'm just kidding.
Fix my credit score then. No, I'm just kidding. But
I'm going to have a decent one.
I had no idea that Ireland was like one of the wealthiest places in Europe. I had no idea.
I hadn't either.
Yeah.
Well, not everything about Ireland's economic success is how it seems. The reality looks a lot less pretty than from the outside, and once you dig beneath the surface, the Irish success story starts to fall apart pretty quickly. This is the dark side of Ireland's economic miracle. But Ireland is not the only country that's been through some tough times. Even people in the most developed economies have been hit pretty hard. But at times like these, smart investors aren't hiding their money in savings accounts, and wealthy people are pouring hundreds of millions into assets that have the potential to still climb, even when stocks fall. But to understand, first a little bit of context behind how did we get here. Basically, for most of its history, Ireland had exactly the opposite reputation that it has today. Both as part of the UK, and after it became independent, it was a poor country, with mostly an agrarian and underdeveloped economy. Dependent...
Brian would say, I don't even think... Brian thought you...
Shut the fuck up. Okay, I stand corrected. I'm sorry.
Lived in little
huts
and that's it.
All I pictured is Banshees of Inisherin. That's what I pictured all of Ireland to look like.
How many years ago?
Yeah, I know.
Ireland does look beautiful, though.
It is. Yeah.
On trade with the UK, and with a strong tradition of people trying to escape poverty by leaving the country, which wasn't helping the economy either. And it didn't get much better as time went on. In the late 1980s, Ireland was still one of the poorest Western European countries.
Damn.
But then, it finally found its secret sauce. By then, Ireland was a member of the EU, a bloc of countries sharing one single market, where, as a company, you can sell to all the member states, but you only have to pay taxes in one of them. And Ireland made a bet that this is the best way to turn their economy around, to become a hub where all the foreign companies coming to do business in the EU will have their official residence, and allow Ireland to collect a small portion of their European-wide profits. To do that, it introduced a combination of low taxes and economic subsidies, and soon after, the bet started to pay off. Major US companies like Dell, Microsoft, and others started choosing Ireland as their official European residence. Not because it would be an important market, but because they saved a lot of money on taxes. And the taxes that Ireland was able to collect launched a boom that the Irish economy has never seen before. In the 1990s and 2000s, it was growing just as fast as economies like Singapore or South Korea, and so it became known as the Celtic Tiger. In 2008, Ireland was hit hard by the global economic crisis, and the Irish response was to double down on this strategy. Low taxes became almost zero taxes, and Ireland basically...
I still feel like it's fucked up. Like, there's a global crash because of us. Because we were just like taking advantage of everyone, being like, here's how home loans, just take it, anyone.
Yeah.
Undocumented people, people without jobs.
Yep.
They were just like giving, it's insane. If you haven't watched the movie The Big Short, you should watch it. It's really good.
Became a global tax haven. It wasn't just a European HQ anymore. The conditions were so good that many US companies started taxing their entire global profits in Ireland, where they paid next to nothing, and Ireland still got a very small slice of a gigantic pie. And it emerged from the crisis as a Celtic phoenix, growing faster than ever before, and outperforming virtually everyone. Unlike for most of its history, Ireland's population was now growing as people didn't leave anymore, but instead, many highly paid tech workers were arriving to work for the big tech. And Ireland enjoyed its reputation as the new European Silicon Valley, and an economic miracle. But here comes the paradox.
No idea this happened.
If it's doing so well, then why do so many people want to leave? Well, while the whole Irish success...
It's the same thing that's happened in like San Francisco and other areas where it's
I was
like...
just about to say, it's kind of, rinse and repeat cycle.
Because you get only the people that can afford...
to keep up with that.
Yeah, and then the people there will...
Like
I don't
people
know.
from there and who have...
regular jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like their rent needs to stay the same too. In order for it just doesn't balance out, and that's what's happened in San Francisco. But like I feel like the Silicon Valley people are kind of already like over San Francisco.
I guess I don't know.
In my opinion, I don't know, but it just seems like they came in, like they were okay with everything going up in price because they could afford it, and then now they're moving out of there.
A lot of them are not aware because they weren't there prior to having a job.
But also a lot of them, I saw this too on a documentary, a lot of them since the pandemic, they just moved to like Idaho or Montana and kept the San Francisco jobs because they could work remote. So then so many people left and they had a better quality of life over there.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen a lot of people move to
that's what I'm saying. So then it just ruins the economy of that city because then they're not, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, when they physically leave, I think that's for the better if you think about it.
Yeah, but then it also...
less demand when it comes to...
forces them to drive the cost down. Yeah.
Which, let's be real, that's not going to happen overnight. No.
Because I think...
I feel like there's always going to be more people who are living close to the actual hub versus living...
somewhere else remote, Yeah, I get you.
Story looks amazing on the surface, at a closer look, it starts to unravel pretty quickly. So here's what's going on. Last year, a survey showed that 7 out of 10 Irish people between 18 to 24 are considering permanently leaving the country because they are not happy with the quality of life. A big reason is that for a few years now, Ireland has been dealing with a notoriously bad housing crisis. And while it is not alone in that, the Irish situation is especially bad. The thing is that Ireland has a particularly bad combination of government policies. It makes it very hard for developers to build any kind of dense urban housing, and it makes it very easy for anyone to object and stop it from being built. As a result, Ireland has a critical shortage of housing, which naturally means that housing is either unaffordable or completely inaccessible for most people. A year ago, only 851 rental properties were listed in the entire country of 5.1 million people, resulting in bizarre scenes like this one when hundreds of people queued on the street in Dublin, trying to get a viewing of an apartment available for rent. But
No
despite the
way.
fact that the
That's
housing
crazy.
crisis has been going on for several years by now, and despite numerous protests and promises, the government has not really been able to do anything about it. But housing is really just
Listen, hear me out here. I feel like the whole Silicon Valley issue being moved from different parts of the world, not even moved, it's just like it pops up. It to me is like modern day colonialism in a way.
Yeah.
Like people are coming from, like, where's the loyalty? You know, these
Yeah.
people have so much roots there.
Exactly.
They
But
should be borderline entitled to like.
grandfathered in.
Okay, relax.
What?
They're from there.
That's what I said. Like
Like-
grandfathered in.
Whatever. That's such a rant. Like that's such a.
You get what I mean, though, right?
Yes, but it's such a. You sound like you're dealing with a. Like royalty or something.
Okay, whatever.
It's
But
whatever. This is like where they have probably generations. Of
they're
their
entitled to
family.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. It just
It's-
seems like in that moment after the.
They should be granted affordable housing. Period.
Especially if you're from there. Like
That's
if
what
you're
I'm
from.
saying.
Yeah, if you're from
Here
there.
in
you
America,
should-
we got
yeah.
our own set of issues. I mean,
Yeah.
we're just a fucking bunch of mutts.
There's also
So-
too many people for I think the existing amount of housing.
Yeah, America's also ginormous compared to Ireland.
And everyone
South
seems to
Ireland.
like push towards the cities. And yeah.
Because that's where there's more opportunity,
Yeah.
but also way more expensive rent.
Yeah.
And the weather's better. But anyway, aside from that, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that is insane.
They should figure out some type of like, I don't know, like
It just seems like the
build your own
government.
community. If you're bringing people abroad
Yeah.
to work in these tech jobs,
Yeah.
build your own little freaking community.
And charge more rent over there for them.
And not even, I don't know, figure out a way to, I genuinely don't know.
Something
Like,
that
figure it out.
balances with the pay, I'm saying. Like something that balances with the pay.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking advantage of the tax laws there. Why aren't the citizens benefiting off of something? If you're going to benefit, they should benefit in
Yeah.
some way.
My guess is that the government was saying, "Oh, this is such a good thing for our economy. It'll come back
For
to
them.
everyone." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they
Not the
probably made it
economy.
seem like it would be good for the people, but it probably never ended up being good for the people. And the government probably did make their money back or whatever they could from the, the housing recession or the housing crash.
You're talking about here or there?
There.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
one example
realize
of a
any of this was
wider
going on.
problem, and that's the fact that Ireland is in many ways a surprisingly badly managed country that's failing at building basic infrastructure and managing key public services. For years, Ireland has struggled to build roads and energy infrastructure, and its national healthcare system is in a perpetual crisis, as it is constantly massively overcrowded, underfunded, and its doctors are running away to other English-speaking countries. Now, of course, Ireland is not the
There
only
needs to
country.
be- I'm sorry. Put some damn laws into place when it comes to these huge tech companies coming. If you're not going, I don't know, find a way to tax them and put that towards their healthcare
These
system or
things, yeah,
something.
these things.
I don't know. I don't know shit about this. I'm just
Yeah.
Struggling with these issues, but it's just a very surprising contrast between Ireland's economic record and a glowing reputation and the reality on the ground. So how come that Ireland has such a fantastic record on paper, but the reality doesn't seem to live up to it? Well, the explanation of this paradox might be that Ireland is not actually really that wealthy at all, and the whole Irish miracle is not actually real. So let's explain. Obviously, Ireland has an extremely high GDP per capita, which is by far the most commonly used indicator for how a country is doing economically. And looking at that number only, it really does
That's high.
seem like the
Yeah.
Irish economy is miles ahead of everyone else. Except that if we look at different statistics, things start to pretty quickly look kinda off. For example, it has quite a high average salary, but it's not nearly as high as it should be, considering its GDP. The Irish average salary is lower than in most Scandinavian countries, and similar to an average salary in countries like Netherlands, Belgium, or Austria, except that the GDP per capita of these countries is barely half.
I feel like that
Accurate.
whole, yeah, that's what I'm saying, that whole GDP list, it seems like their numbers are always so skewed. I feel like just because they report what they want to report.
I 1000% agree. I feel like there are ways to
You
finesse
can,
it.
totally. That's why like every week there's I'm sure for every country there is, like, you can see the economic like statistics of things, like the job growth. You can see like all these different things, unemployment claims, and I just feel like they really manipulate them to make things look better than they are. A lot.
I know for sure they do it out here, so I can only imagine.
Yeah, and yeah. Because everyone's supposed to just like trust them because they're the the treasury is the top of everything.
Yeah.
Like that.
The criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. Shut up. Okay.
That of Ireland's, and other statistics show a similar trend. The household disposable income, which is measuring basically how much money do people actually have at their disposal, puts Ireland on the 17th place, below the average of the European Union. In other words, there is a big gap between data showing how wealthy
People are.
Ireland is
Yeah.
and how wealthy
That's how it
the
is
people
here.
actually
Yeah.
are. But why? Well, according to a theory, widely recognized by many economists as accurate, but furiously disputed by the Irish government, Ireland is nowhere near as rich as it seems to be on paper. And the Irish GDP
Yeah.
statistics are massively inflated, to such an extent that they do not actually reflect reality. And that's because Ireland's GDP is driven mostly by global corporations moving their profits to Ireland.
That's fucked.
Profits that
How
were
is
not
that not-
made
how
in
is that not
Ireland
legal?
by companies that are not Irish and that are taken out of the country without actually ever entering
Yeah,
the
it's Leprechaun Economics. It just seems like
Sorry,
they
that's
did
funny.
something without thinking it through. Like they were like, let's just do this, and then it did. Now they're just like, well, fuck.
This seems like outside factors, though.
Yeah, but
Taking
because they told these corporations, hey, come over here, we'll give you all like cuts, like breaks, like so you can come over here.
Why
we'll
isn't any of
save
that
money."
regulated at all, though? It should be benefiting them, period.
Yeah, I don't
If
know.
anyone's taking advantage of them,
Yeah,
they
it should
get
definitely
something.
benefit the people that live there.
Irish
Or their
economy.
economy.
This has been called Leprechaun Economics, an economy where the country's GDP says absolutely nothing about how wealthy the country actually is, or isn't. And in reality, Ireland could be hardly called a wealthy country. Instead, the result of Ireland's particular economic model could be called a tale of two Irelands, one rich and one poor. Although it might seem like it from the GDP statistics, the average Irish person doesn't work as a software developer for Google. These companies only
Yeah, that's
employ
how it
a
is everywhere.
tiny fraction of the Irish workforce, and instead, they rely on highly
No. I don't get it. If you're going to, whoever is driving these these corporations there, hire the people there. That's like the only way it's gonna benefit both parties.
Yeah, but there's also still there's not a huge demand of people who know how to do that or want to do that.
Teach them. There's always a way.
I mean, you can incentivize it, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like it's almost insulting to assume that like they just can't fulfill that. It's
No,
like,
it's
yes,
not
you
that they
can anywhere in
can't.
the
It's not
world.
that they
There's
can't.
people in every field. They can do it.
There also might be part of the contract with the company saying we need to bring our workforce over because they already know our stuff, or it could be proprietary
There should be
too.
like maybe a few foundational people, but the majority should not. The majority should.
I mean, no,
be-
I agree with you.
Work out a deal.
Yeah.
You want to take advantage of our tax laws, you got to employ at least 50% of your
People should be Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
just
does
feels
seem like
that
a
would
good
make
rule.
sense.
Yeah.
qualified workers that came to Ireland from abroad. These highly paid
Yeah.
workers help to inflate the prices, but most people work in the domestic Irish economy that has nothing to do with the big tech, and they make way less money. But while the rich Ireland gets the attention, the poor Ireland, which is mostly out of sight, is what actually portrays the daily reality of most people. And the magical accounting also hides a lot of flaws in the Irish economy that would be otherwise immediately visible, and that are, well, concerning. Ireland, for example, has one of the highest national debts in the world. But because a national debt is usually reported in relation to a country's GDP, and because Ireland has
looks
an
like nothing.
insanely high GDP, this goes unnoticed. So on the surface, it looks like Ireland is managing it really well, but put the GDP aside, and suddenly you'll see that it's not good at all. The economist Aaron Levinstein once said that statistics are like bikinis. What they reveal is suggestive, but what they conceal is vital.
Sorry.
And while so
That's-
far
yeah,
Ireland has been able to conceal the true nature of its so-called economic miracle, it might not last much longer. The fight against tax havens is picking up, and its days of collecting taxes from foreign giants might be soon over. And if that happens, the reality will be revealed, and what's gonna follow is not going to be pretty.
I feel like that's
I don't know.
the way that he explained about the GDP and the debt. That's exactly what we do here, and I think most wealthy countries do. They hide the amount of debt and how bad it really is by saying, "But look at our GDP, look at this, like look at our job growth, look at that." Like, and they only take some.
But who are they fooling? Like,
the massive amount of people, babe. Most people are just don't care, or they
so
don't
they just
want to look at this.
gaslight. That's
Yeah, pretty much.
tactics.
Because I think majority of people, if they actually first, you have to take the time to hear all these stupid terms that they make and to like confuse you, get past that, learn them, and then be like, oh, I'm actually interested in seeing what is going on with the economy, and then you can be like, oh, they kind of lie to us all the time and make it seem better than it is.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah,
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean, I like how that guy
explained it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did a good job. I like that there was a lot of like visual stuff.
yeah. A visual learner.
Yeah, that's interesting. If you guys are from Ireland or live there, spent any time there, give us your opinion on that too in the comments. And
Yeah, I
let
need
us
to
know
know
what
from
you
your
think.
guys'
I had no idea
perspective.
that they created a tax haven for big corporations to move over there. But it just seems like the money that they got from that, they're not using properly for the people that are from there.
I mean, I just genuinely think you need to hire people from there.
Well, yeah,
That
that
would
too.
make the
But I'm
most
saying
sense.
they could also use profits or earnings that they get from these corporations coming over and put that into housing for people who are from there, or like affordable things, or like help the people that are from there.
Yeah.
I think they're using that money just maybe to profit. I don't know. Maybe to do kickbacks to the other people who are the corporations. Who knows?
I have no idea.
But yeah, if you have more insight, let us know. But that was an interesting video. Let me look at the
Kind
guy's
of
thing.
pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Pisses me off.
Well,
No, I'm
it's
just kidding.
annoying. It's just like another case of like
Greed.
greed.
Yeah, it is.
Look
It's
how
global.
beautiful this country is. Come on.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Let people fucking enjoy it. I just don't get it.
The channel name is Explained with Dom. I'll put the original in the description.
Anyway.
But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Hope you
let us
enjoyed.
know if you're Irish.
Yeah, if this upsets you too. But jump over to our vlog channel. Like and subscribe, guys. Okay. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Bye.